So I thought I would do a quick video response to Agent of Doubt's video. He says a few things in here that I'd like to answer. I think he's asking, is it immoral, to pray with a teacher of a Christian institution for a better grade? And then would that teacher be obligated to give that student a better grade based on the fact that they had prayed together? But let's hear him talk for himself.
If you really wanted all of the favor of this teacher, I'm saying if they had already prayed with you that you would get a better grade, would they not have this anguish in them? Like, if they tried to give you a bad grade, wouldn't they think, well, crap, am I going against God's will? Here we were, two Christians praying together that this person would get a better grade, and I'm about to put a bad grade on this paper. I think God might be compelling me to put a good grade on this paper. God's left it in my hands, and I'm an emissary of God, and a Christian requested of God, and if you request of God, then He shall provide. And if I don't provide, then that might tell the student that God doesn't provide.
Okay. So there's a couple things that I want to talk about, and I think I'll start with he made a comment earlier on about supposed institutions of higher learning, insinuating that Christian colleges don't have the same accreditation, and I don't know about the ones that he's talking about, but I know for a fact that there are a number of accredited Christian colleges in my local area that have a pretty extensive science and mathematical department. I don't know about others. I think you would have to base the accreditation on the institution, not on the fact of whether it's a secular or a religious institution. I think that's a little bit bigoted. I'm going to use the word bigoted, and I'm using it loosely. I don't think that he's a bigot. I just think that maybe his opinion of Christian colleges is slightly askew. That's my opinion. Now, in regards to praying with a teacher, and would that teacher be obligated to give that student a better grade only because they prayed for a better grade? The answer is no. I think a big misconception in the atheist community is that Christians believe that God answers their prayers exactly the way they pray them. And that's hardly ever the case. From my experience, I always pray for like the easy out or, the easy solution. And do I get that? Hardly ever do I get exactly what I want. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever gotten exactly what I want. I've come close a couple times, but mainly I see my prayers as answered in a different way. Things seem to resolve themselves in a way that I hadn't expected. And I think the same would apply in this situation, whereas if a student came to a teacher and expressed, a concern about their grade or how they're doing in the class and asked to pray with the teacher, I think that instructor might answer their prayers by the will of God by maybe giving that student a little bit extra attention, which would lead to a better grade. So, in a sense, their prayer would be answered, but not in the exact way that you're insinuating, Agent of Doubt. You're insinuating that this teacher would just feel guilty and give them a better grade, not because they deserved it, not because the teacher actually noticed that the student was concerned and gave that student a little extra attention and helped that student earn a better grade. which I think would be the will of God. I don't think God would want a teacher to to give a false grade in his name. I mean, that kind of goes against what Christians believe. And and frankly, I think you know this. I know that you were raised in a Christian household, and while you don't hold to these beliefs anymore, I'm sure you're familiar with what Christians believe. So I'm going to say you're trolling here a little bit, but I thought I'd just answer your question and say that I think it's a good idea. If you're a student and you're struggling, and you're in a Christian college or high school, and you ask your teacher to pray with you, I encourage that because it does two things. Number one, it shows your teacher or your instructor how serious you are about the class and your concern. And it also humbles you. I think an important part of being a Christian is being humble enough um, to know when you need help, and to not be afraid to ask for help, and to have others join with you in asking for that help. Many times in group prayer, people's prayers are answered by the works of other people who are privy to this prayer. So, a lot of people want to say that prayer doesn't work, and that's fine. If you don't think prayer works, that's fine. But I don't think that from a person that doesn't think that prayer works to suggest that using it in a deceptive way would be beneficial to any student is very ethical. It's just my 2 cents. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.